Hey there! Can you guys build an apartment without any modern technology or without any modern equipment? Well, that is impossible. But can you guys believe a temple being built without any modern technology or without any modern equipment? Well, that's true. So today we're going to see about the world's first fully constructed temple with full and fully stone, and which is located in one of the oldest city in the world, that is Sri Brihadishwara temple, which is being located in Tanjavur. So this temple has many histories and mysteries behind it. So do watch till the end and don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell button for more amazing videos. So come on guys, let us move inside the video. So this temple is being located in one of the oldest city in the world, that is Tanjore. So Tanjore is famous for mainly three things, that is art, agriculture and architecture. So Tanjore paintings have been recognized from all across the world, and even today it has a high demand for it. So it is being sold for a high rate of money. And these paintings have been originated from a great king called Rajaraja Cholan. So he had a marvelous painters, and you can see their paintings even today on the walls of Brihadishwara temple. Since this kingdom was under the control of the great ruler, that is Rajaraja Cholan, he used to have such a good farmers where they used to give high yield, which was even sufficient for this region as well as the whole kingdom. So even today the farmers get high yield with the presence of continued flow of water from the river Kaveri. So though Tanjore has many amazing things, but can you believe Tanjore is also famous for a particular toy? Well, what type of a toy? So at this place in Tanjore there is one of the most beautiful toy, that is the interloper toy, or you can call it as the dancing doll. So in Tamil we call it as Talati Boomai. So this particular toy is one of the most collectible toy not only in India, all across the world, and it is only available at this place in Tanjavur. So Tanjavur is also famous for its architecture and engineering skills. For example, the Brihadishwara temple and as well as the Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So this particular region is being recognized by the UNESCO under the World Heritage Organization, and they call this place as the Great Livings of Cholas. So at present, Tanjore also contributes in the field of defense. So it has its own Air Force station, that is the 222 Squadron of the Indian Air Force Sukhoi Su-30 MKI aircraft with equipped air-launched BrahMos cruise missile. So it is the first Indian Air Force fighter squadron in Tamil Nadu. So in this temple there are lots and lots of inscriptions which tells us about the great living of Rajaraja Cholan and as well as the construction of this temple. So they have mentioned that for the construction of this temple they have used horses and elephants, and guess what, they did not use 50 or 500 elephants, they used almost 5,000 elephants for the construction of the temple. Wait a second, for managing 100 elephants it is a highly tedious task. So how do they manage it? That's pretty cool, right? So coming up to the person who constructed this temple. So this temple was being constructed by a great king known as Rajaraja Cholan. So Rajaraja Cholan was the son of Sundara Cholan. So he was born in 947 CE, and he is one of the most greatest king who conquered almost many parts of Southeast Asia. So at present, countries like Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, Bangladesh and many other places. So Chola kingdom was one of the most mightiest kingdom in the world. So they used to have such a good marvelous defense and as well as the military power. So whenever these people go for conquering the other kingdom, kings used to surrender their kingdom to these Cholas by seeing such a huge army of Cholas and without waging war against them. So with the help of laborers, engineers and architects, Rajaraja Cholan was the world's first king to have a well organized navy in which he had such a good ships which could carry not only the soldiers and as well as the elephants and the goods needed for the war. So at this time Rajaraja Cholan conquered almost many parts of Southeast Asia, and the places where he conquered he started building a temple which is being dedicated to a Hindu god and which left the mark of the great rule of Rajaraja Cholan. So Rajaraja Cholan wanted to build a temple in his capital, that is in Tanjavur, for the people, and since he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, he built a massive huge temple which led to the construction of the great Brihadishwara temple. So this great legend, that is Rajaraja Cholan, started building this temple from 1003 AD and finished it by 1010 AD. Well, that's pretty interesting, right? This great legend just built such a huge massive temple within a span of 7 years. And guess what? There's one more amazing fact. This temple is made up of full and fully granite, and even today in Tanjore or its surrounding places there is no granite for around 60 kilometers or a mountain of granite. And this temple is made up of not 1 ton or 1000 ton. It is made up of almost 130,000 tons of granite. Then how do they make it? What do they do for the transportation? Raja Cholan had a great guru, that is Karur Devar, who played a major role in the life of Raja Cholan. So, in fact, in the plan of such a huge temple was even a part of him. So, from the planning till the end of the construction, there were many debates going on between Raja Cholan and his guru. So, at the final debate, the situation went so worse that Raja Cholan's guru went away from the palace. But still, the coronation has to take place. So at this coronation, there were lakhs and lakhs of people who attended this coronation, and as well as kings from various kingdoms who attend. But the guru of Raja Cholan did not attend, which made Raja Cholan to feel bad. But still, Raja Cholan was a great and humble king and who had love and compassion towards his guru. He kept a statue and as well as paintings which depicts the teachings of Raja Cholan's guru. And even today you can see the great statue and paintings of Karur Devar. So later, after few months, Raja Cholan's guru returns to the temple and he meets Raja Cholan. So he tells that you did not listen to my words. So I'm going to give you a sin. So you and your generations who all are going to visit this temple will either lose their life or they will lose their position. So this was the sin left by the great guru, that is Karur Devar. So after a few years, Raja Cholan also dies in the same temple. I'm not sure whether it's because of this sin or what. He dies in the same temple in which he only constructed. So some people say that he by mistake fell from the top of the temple, and some people say that some woman pushed him off from the top of the temple. But the death of the great legend is still mystery. So by seeing this, people started getting a negative feeling on their mind, and instead they even closed this temple. The son of Raja Cholan, that is Rajendra Cholan, thought that okay fine, my father built such a huge massive temple, but I'm going to build a temple which is way bigger than this, and this paved the way for the construction of another great temple, or you can call it as a city of the Cholas, that is the Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So this temple was not only in the control of Cholas, so later it came on to the control of another great dynasty, that is the Maratha dynasty during the 16th and 17th century. So even they made some changes in this temple, such as many inscriptions even they have written and many paintings. So you can see the paintings and inscriptions even today in this temple. So in Tanjore, near this temple, there is even a palace of Marathas where you can know more archaeological facts about this temple. Coming up to the temple, this temple occupies almost 44 acres of land, and as well as the amount of granite they used is 130,000 tons. So this temple is being surrounded by a small amount of water body. Coming up to this entrance, so at the entrance you can see beautiful statues of Lord Ganesha and as well as Lord Muruga, the sons of Lord Shiva. So as we move in, you can see the beautiful, marvelous architecture done by the Cholas, and there are some sculptures which depicts the one of the most oldest and the one of the most beautiful dances of India, that is Bharatanatyam. So as we move more inside this temple, you can see the second main entrance of this temple, and this second main entrance was being decorated with beautiful gardening works and as well as the sculpturing works done by the Cholas. And as we move more inside this temple, you can see the beautiful view of this temple, and as well as you can see the main tower of Brihadishwara temple. So as you move more inside, you can not only see the main tower of this temple, you can also see some small temples there. Well, the sons of Lord Shiva, that is Lord Ganesha shrine and as well as Lord Muruga shrine is being seen there. And the wife of Lord Shiva, that is Lord Parvati shrine, is also being seen there. And at the compound of this temple, at the top of the compound of this temple, you can see Nandi statues have been arranged in a uniform pattern. And guess what is the count? Their count is almost 1100 Nandi statues are being there. And at the sides of this temple you can see some Linga statues, and guess what is their count? There are almost 250 Linga statues at this temple. So coming up to the main temple or the main tower, which is in the height of almost 216 feet. So the main god is being worshipped there, that is Lord Shiva in the form of Linga, and this is one of the most biggest statues of Lord Shiva in the form of Linga in India. It is in the height of almost 12 feet and the golden pedestal above it is almost 18 feet. So right opposite you can see the Lord Nandi, the chariot of Lord Shiva, the holy bull of Hindus, which is in the height of almost 4 meter and the length 4.9 meter. So these both the statues of Lord Shiva and as well as statue of Nandi is being carved in a single stone. Can you guys believe this great temple is being closely associated with the language Tamil? Well, that's true. So the height of Linga, that is 12 feet, represents the 12 words present in Tamil, that is Uyir Elthugal. So the height of pedestal above it represents the 18 consonants present in Tamil, and we call it as Mai Elthugal. So the height of the tower, that is 216 feet, represents the 216 vowel consonants present in Tamil, and we call it as Uyirme Elthugal. So the distance between the Nandi and as well as Shiva in the form of Linga is 247. and that represents the total number of letters present in Tamil. That is 216 vowel consonant plus 12 vowels plus 18 consonants plus one letter, that is Ayudha Eluthu, and we pronounce it as Ak. So all these add up on to form 247 letters present in Tamil. So Rajaraja Chola himself did not give the whole money for the expense of this temple. People volunteered themselves. They gave the jewels or money for the donation of this temple. So even their name is being reinscripted in this inscription of the great Brihadishwara temple. So in this inscription, they have not only mentioned about Rajaraja Chola or about the construction of this temple, they have even mentioned each and every person's name who will have been involved for the construction of this temple. Let it be a worker, or let it be an engineer, or let it be a painter or a minister. He has mentioned each and every person's name and their contribution towards the temple. So this temple is also famous for its beautiful paintings. So people from all over the world, they come especially to Tanjavur to see all these paintings. There are almost hundreds of paintings in this temple. And guess what, guys? These paintings are not done using today's artificial colors. They have been done using the natural colors which have been available in the nature, and it was being done before 1000 years, and still even today it's giving a beautiful fabulous look for the temple. And there are not only the paintings of Cholas, there are even paintings of Marathas which have been done during the 16th and as well as 17th century. So the paintings which have been done by Cholas depicts about the great role of Rajaraja Cholan. So for example, the painting over here depicts about Rajaraja Cholan and his great devotion to Lord Shiva. So all the paintings has its own beautiful value, and all these paintings gives a beautiful look for the great Brihadishwara temple. So the main tower is almost in the height of 216 feet. Well, that's pretty high. So on the main tower, Cholas have done a marvelous sculpturing work in which you can see the sculptures of Lord Shiva. And on the main tower, or the top of the tower, you can see there's something bulging out. Well, then what is that? So the Cholas have kept a stone which is weighing almost 80 ton on the top of the temple. Why did they do that? The answer for this question is still mystery, but there are some myths which tells us the origin of the stone. One of the main myths is this stone is being offered by a great beautiful lady to Rajaraja Cholan. Well, when Rajaraja Cholan and his troops went in search of stone, that is granite, they went and sat under a tree since they were tired. And the old grandma came and asked Rajaraja Cholan that, "You guys seems to be tired. May I offer you buttermilk for you guys?" And he told, "Yeah, sure." She went and she came back and asked him that, "What is the reason you guys have been here?" And they told her, "We came in a search of stone for the construction of a great beautiful temple." And she told her, "Well then, I have a huge stone in my backyard. You can just take it." And Rajaraja Cholan took the stone and went and placed it on the top of the temple. Well, you guys will be wondering that I told that a beautiful lady, but there's an old grandma. Well guys, the myth tells like that. So later, after keeping the stone on the top of the temple, Rajaraja Cholan inscribes her name on the top of the temple, that is on the stone. So, but the answer behind the question that why did they keep the stone on the top of the temple is still mystery. So as many of you have been wondering that how did they lift such a huge stone to the top of the temple? Well, even I had the same question. When I asked the same question to this temple priest, and he told me that during the construction of this temple, as I told you before, Rajaraja Cholan was one of the most skillful, and he was good at engineering, and he did a great job there. He built a bridge which was almost 7 kilometers from the bottom to the top of the temple. Well, that is pretty interesting. So he built such a huge bridge that it was almost 7 kilometers in its length, and he used several elephants for pushing the stone from the bottom to the top of the temple. So after all the construction, he just cleared off this bridge, and all this went on without any modern technology what we use today. So coming up to the main mystery of this temple. So this temple has various secret tunnels which have been leading to various places. Wait a second, where did they even build secret tunnels for this temple? So for some occasions, such as I told you before, for the coronation of the temple, or let it be a function, or even for emergency purpose, the Rajaraja Cholan used this secret tunnel frequently to avoid the people's traffic and as well as from the enemies. So this secret tunnel is especially designed for Rajaraja Cholan. I mean, since they were tall, they made such a path that it could give a comfortable travel for Rajaraja Cholan from one place to the another. Well, coming up to the tunnel, how many tunnels are actually there in this temple? When I asked the same question to this temple priest, he told me that there are almost 3 main secret tunnels in this temple. Then where are they? So the first 2 secret tunnels are actually there in the Lord Shiva's shrine, that is right opposite to the lingam, towards the left and as well as towards the right. So as a visitor, when we visit this temple, so after praying to Lord Shiva, when we take the left for the exit, right at the corner there's a secret room which has a secret tunnel. So right opposite there's another secret room which has a secret tunnel. So where's the other one? The other one is there in Lord Muruga Shrine. So there's actually a window at the side. So right next to it there's the secret tunnel. So all the secret tunnels are being closed. The first two, which is there in the Lord Shiva Shrine, is being closed long back. But the other one, which is there in Lord Muruga Shrine, is being closed in 1980s. So where are these secret tunnels are actually leading to? One of the tunnel leads to a temple which is there near Patuguri district in Tamil Nadu, and it is almost at the distance of 50 kilometers from Tanjavur. The next secret tunnel leads to mysterious place. I mean, there's no actual proof that where does this secret tunnel leads to. Some people say that it may lead to a place, or some people say that it may lead to a secret chamber. So before, this temple's name was Rajarajeshwaram temple, but later they changed it as Brihadishwara temple. But in Tamil Nadu it is famous for its name Tanjai Peruvirar Kovil. So in this world there are many towers, such as the Big Ben's clock tower in UK and as well as the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. Well, all these towers lean at some degree, such as the 0.26 degree and as well as 3.99 degree. Can you guys believe this temple doesn't lean at any side? I mean, it is at 0.0 degree. So this is fascinating, right? That's why at least once in your lifetime you gotta be visiting this temple to know the beauty of history which has mysteries behind it. So in this temple as well as in this region there are many things missing, such as inscriptions, paintings and many more. So these things leave many questions which have been unsolved, such as how do they manage a huge number of people during the construction, what all rules were there, what all food they consumed and what type of medicines they took. There are many questions which have been unsolved even today. These questions come only if the evidence is not there. And what if we have the evidence? Well, some paintings in this temple have been destroyed. Some people have scratched these paintings. There are many people who come and litter this place. We should stop this. We should stop littering and we shouldn't destroy anything in our surroundings. Make sure you protect and you conserve your environment. In this world there are many amazing things. So when I upload all these things as a video, you should get the immediate notification. So subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button. I'm pretty sure this video was interesting. So do like this video. So share this video to all your friends and relatives. So thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned. This is K Talks.